The Jeep Grand Cherokee is the most awarded SUV ever. Today, I borrowed this 2015 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland to show you why that may be. After that, I will show you some of my favorite features, take it for a drive and give you some driving impressions, and then in the end, I will point out some of the things that you should look for if you are planning to buy one. Let's dive into this, the 4th generation Jeep Grand Cherokee, and let's look at all the features that make it a standout SUV. The Grand Cherokee Overland is the epitome of luxury and capability, offering a premium driving experience both on and off-road. Built in Detroit, the 4th generation Jeep Grand Cherokee is available in the following trims: the Laredo, the Altitude, Limited, Sterling Edition, Trailhawk, Overland, this is what that is, the Summit, SRT models, and the incredible Trackhawk. Under the hood, you find a range of powerful engine options, ranging from the fuel-efficient V6 to the mighty V8, delivering both performance and efficiency. Pause the video for a list of engine options. Step inside and you'll be greeted by a refined and spacious cabin. The high-quality materials and attention to detail create an upscale atmosphere. The Overland trim, which this is, adds premium features like heated and ventilated leather seats, a panoramic sunroof, and advanced infotainment system, keeping you comfortable and connected along your journeys. When it comes to performance off-road, the Grand Cherokee doesn't disappoint. With Jeep's legendary 4x4 system, the Grand Cherokee can handle any rugged terrains with ease. The available Quadra-Lift air suspension system allows you to adjust the right height for improved ground clearance. Safety is a priority with the Grand Cherokee, with features like the adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and forward collision warning keeps you and your passengers safe. Overall, the 4th generation Grand Cherokee combines luxury, capability, and safety into one impressive package. Whether you're traveling down the highway or going and exploring off the beaten path, I assure you that you are to be very satisfied with this car. Now, let's take a look around. I'll show you some of my favorite features, starting with the Quad-Lift air suspension system. As I mentioned before, this system gives you a lot of ground clearance, or you can lower the vehicle. The way that you control the system is very simple. You have dials right here that allow you to raise the vehicle up 3 different positions or lower it 1 from the standard ride. Also, as you adjust the select terrain using this dial, this will automatically adjust the ride height based on the setting that's pre-configured into this system. Next, I want to show you the infotainment system. Now, this is shared with other Chrysler vehicles. As you can see, here you have a big screen with an app manager. You have media control, radio. You can control your seats. You have heated and ventilated seats in this car, as well as climate and navigation. Then right here you have a combination of analog gauges along with a digital screen in the center that provides you with different trip information and driving information, as well as some vehicle information. And last but not least is the panoramic sunroof. Great feature on this car. If you touch one of these buttons here, you can control either the cover itself for the sun or the actual roof itself. So now I'm going to demonstrate moving the screen back. There you go. And You can move the sunroof itself forward if you wanted to, or you can close the entire thing to prevent the sun from coming in. Very cool. And now for my favorite part, let's go for a drive. And now driving the Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is the Overland trim, and boy, I love Jeeps. I go to the New York Auto Show pretty much every year, and one of my favorite activities is Camp Jeep, where they have this massive setup of obstacles that are meant to represent things that you will experience while you're off-roading your vehicle. And what they do is they actually take you through these obstacles just to show you the capability of a Jeep. And boy, it's great. They're very capable. It's a fun time, and I can see that here as well. And the Grand Cherokee pretty much gives you best of both worlds. If you want off-road capability, but you want some luxury elements of vehicles, then the Grand Cherokee gives you that. Inside, you have different trims that can give you different levels of luxury. Right, this one has a leather wrap dash, the door panels, the seats themselves, heated and ventilated seats, adaptive cruise control, forward collision monitoring, blind spot monitoring. You have hands-off navigation and a Bluetooth for your phone connectivity. I mean, it's a very nice place to be and a very comfortable vehicle with the the available air ride suspension in the Quadra system. I mean, if you get that obviously enhances your ride quality. And boy, these Grand Cherokees have a massive range of trims, not only for features and options, but also for capability and performance. So one of the most performance oriented vehicles is the Trackhawk, which many of you may know went around the Nürburgring in something like 8 minutes and change. It's at a very, very impressive SUV indeed. And now you're really pumped and excited to buy one of these. So allow me to point out some of the things that you should look for if you're planning on buying one. I made a checklist, probably the most comprehensive checklist on the internet, to show you what to look for when buying any car. The link is included below. Use that as your basis, but now let me run you through some things that I think can be very costly and you should watch out for. Now, let me just also mention that for this vehicle in particular, it's very important that you follow my checklist and check all the electronics on this vehicle. Also, it's never a bad idea to bring along a car-savvy friend to help you look for things. I always recommend that you get a PPI or a pre-purchase inspection done by an experienced shop or the Jeep dealership. Right, so let's get right into it. Now, the first thing that I want to point out is the Quadra lift air suspension system in these vehicles. These vehicles are equipped with the Quadra Drive 2 and the Quadra Track 2 systems, and you guessed it, it's an air suspension system, and as such they're complex and very expensive. So you want to make sure proper operation of this system utilizing the buttons inside. Now, before we go inside, let's go into the engine compartment. There's a few things that I want to point out there. And the first thing that I want to point out is cooling issues. Now, people have experienced issues with the cooling system due to faulty radiator hoses, defective radiators, the water pump, and sometimes the coolant thermostat housing. So make sure that you inspect the vehicle for any coolant leaks, any defects, or potential visual damages that you can find, and ensure that the vehicle that you're buying has had proper maintenance. The other item that I want you to check in here has to do with the engine itself. Although this V6 in the Grand Cherokee and the V8 are Both very robust engines, probably some of the better engines in Jeeps, but make sure that you operate the engine at different temperatures, different times, in different environments, different speeds, just to make sure that you identify any issues with, faulty idle or rough idling or any different rough driving characteristics. That could be due to maybe faulty ignition coils, maybe the spark plugs need to be replaced, maybe your throttle body needs to be cleaned. Different things could be causing it, but just make sure that you pay close attention to any weird or off-putting driving characteristics when you are driving the car, or even at idle with the hood open. You want to make sure that the engine sounds nice and smooth and it's functioning properly. Now there's a few things that I want to highlight down here. First, starting with the transmission located right over here. Now these cars are equipped with a ZF transmission, which is very robust and very capable, but many people are reporting problems with a rough shifting and some different noises. So make sure that the transmission is operating properly in these vehicles. There is some reports where people say that they've experienced very harsh shifts from 8th gear to 5th or 6th gear. Not sure if you're going to be able to experience that, replicate that in your vehicle. Some people are saying that this is normal Jeep operation, and it's possible that the programming in the computer has been programmed that way. But just make sure that the transmission is engaging reverse, park, drive, and is shifting properly, because these transmissions are quite expensive to replace. The next item that I want to highlight, has to do with the suspension. Some owners have reported issues with the suspension having premature wear on some of the components, or driving characteristics that are uncommon, such as loose steering feel, or maybe noise coming out of the suspension. Now make sure that you turn the vehicle around when you are driving, just kind of like shake it a little bit, just to make sure that you don't hear any clunky noises or any loose things in the suspension, because this can be quite expensive to repair. And while we're down here, I want to talk to you about the brake system as well. Some owners are reporting premature wear of your rotors and brake pads, and some others are suggesting that there are issues with your brake system as a whole. Now there's been a couple of recalls, and I'm going to talk to you about those in a second, but just make sure that you look at your rotors, your brake pads, and the brake feel themselves when you're driving. You don't want to have a slushy or soft brake feel when you're pressing on the brakes. Now stepping inside to show you a couple things here. First, as I mentioned at the beginning of this segment, make sure that you check everything that's electronic in this vehicle. This is particularly important in these Jeeps, as they seem to be having a lot of electrical issues. So make sure that if it has a button, if it uses electricity, if it has power, make sure that you test it and that it works as designed. And then also the HVAC system has been reported to have issues. So make sure that you are going through all the settings in your climate control and that everything is working accordingly. If you hear any noises that are uncommon, unnormal, make sure that you take note of that and discuss it with the current owner or dealership and investigate further. Now I want to talk to you about recalls. To check any open recalls on these vehicles, I'm including 2 sites right here. Please visit those sites, and with the VIN number you can check for any recalls for your specific model and year. But there's 2 specific recalls that I think are very important to have taken care of in these cars. So make sure that you look into them and ensure that those recalls have been addressed. Now the first recall that I want to highlight for you is the parking malfunction here. Now, in April of 2016, I think it was 2014, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration ordered a recall for Grand Cherokees with the electronic shift park system. Now, this is a system that is electronically controlled, and many owners have reported a problem where they engage parking, but the vehicle does not engage, and they are surprised to open the door and walk away, and then the vehicle drives off or rolls off. So make sure that this is a recall that has been addressed, because it is a major safety concern, especially around children. Next, I want to highlight a recall, actually multiple recalls for your braking system. It has been reported that there are multiple issues that have to do with your braking system. You want to ensure that these recalls have been covered, because inappropriate or insufficient brake assist in your vehicle can cause an accident. So make sure that you look into the braking system recalls for these cars, and if they have not been addressed, make sure that they are addressed immediately. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope that you find this video helpful and informative. If you did, give me a like, subscribe. It really helps the channel to help me keep making videos like this. Thanks so much. See you in the next one.